Hey everyone, welcome back. We're actually going to talk about dosing today. We're just going to do some quick tips. I'm not really going to get into too much detail, but basically I'm just going to go over a few things that I recommend if you are just starting out with dosing. Now, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I have 3 dosing pumps, which is probably a ridiculous amount for a reef tank, but I like to make sure everything is taken care of while I'm gone. If I'm at work, if I'm out of town for several days, I like to know that the tank is going to be fine and everything gets dosed, accordingly. Now, if you're just starting to dose 2-part, I recommend you use the bulk resupply 2-part, and my phone keeps going off. I just find it to be easier, and it's cheaper in the long run. If you buy the salts in bulk, you'll be able to, it goes forever, it seems. It's very easy to make with RO water. And buy the bro jugs there, I guess if you want to call them. I guess they're the BRS. I call them bro jugs, but anyways, those are perfect for dosing. Now, everybody wants to know what the recommended dose is. Now, it's different for every tank. It depends on how much coral you have. But the recommended dose is, start low. It's better to have less and then work your way up than to overdose and, kill shit. But what I would do is take your total water volume, divide it by 25, and times that by 15. So basically, it's 15 milliliters of both calcium alkalinity per 25 gallons of actual water. So basically my tank is 180 gallons essentially, but with rock and all that good stuff I brought it down to about 125 just to be safe. So with the amount of coral that I have, I currently dose 98 milliliters of both alkalinity and calcium daily. Now, it's important that you dose both in equal parts. Now, my auto top was going off, so hopefully that's not too loud. Anyways, it's best to dose equal parts. You don't want to dose more of one or the other, because essentially you're just going to throw your tank out of whack. I mentioned that in my pH video. So it's important to dose equal parts of calcium alkalinity. Check. Alright, now another thing that you might want to consider doing is dosing the majority of your additives either early in the morning or throughout the night. So if you don't use a dosing pump and you're just doing it by hand, do it early in the morning. Say if you get up and go to the gym or something at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, dose both, calcium alkalinity in even amounts, before you leave in the morning. Or you can do it late at night, but I wouldn't really recommend that since pH is usually the highest at night. Now for the amount that I actually dose daily, I wouldn't want to dose all that at one time. That would really increase the pH significantly. So if you are dosing upwards of 100 milliliters, you can just split that in half into 2 doses. Either do it at night or do it in the morning if you're doing it by hand. But if you're using a dosing pump, what I personally do is at night, once the lights go off, I usually start dosing the majority of my 2-parts. So approximately 6 or 7 milliliters every hour while the lights are off. And then as soon as the lights come on, I dose 1 milliliter per hour of both. Now, it's also important that you don't dose them in the same area at the same time. You can dose, 5 minutes apart. What I do is I have mine dose a half an hour apart. So every hour on the hour, calcium will dose, and every half an hour on that hour, of every hour, it's a tongue twister, will dose the, alkalinity. So it's important to make sure that you dose them separately, because if they mix together in the water, if you don't already know, they'll precipitate out, and it's just a big mess, and you're just wasting your money. So that's 2-part. Now, if you're dosing additives, like I dose the Red Sea program, or you're dosing live phytoplankton, or you're dosing a reef vitamin, again, it's better to start with less than what you really need, just to make sure to see how your tank goes. And it's important to go slow. If you start throwing all of these things in at one time, and something goes wrong, you're not going to know what caused that problem. Just like if you started dosing, say 5 milliliters of the Reef Colors program at one time, and then you started dosing 5 more milliliters than you usually do of, multivitamin. If you get an algae outbreak, you're going to be like, where the hell did this come from? So then you got to, go back and forth and change this and change that, and just do this awful cycle of, what caused the issue. So it's best to start off slow and don't do it all at one time. Alright, and there's the auto top off again. My power head just went off, so once that goes off, the tank needs to be filled up with more water once the waves aren't working. So now that's with dosing additives. Now if you're carbon dosing, I personally don't do vodka I guess I could put it to an auto dosing pump, but I'm not a big fan of, I don't even drink alcohol, so I don't really feel why my tank should drink alcohol. That sounds kind of dumb, but that's just, makes sense to me. So I do biopellets. So you see, it's just a simple biopellet reactor. It's actually the Phospan 2 Little Fishies 150 reactor. I took this plate off of the bottom. Okay, now, so that's just a straight pipe all the way down with no plate. I tried doing the biopellets with the plate, and it didn't get enough flow. So took the plate off, and I super glued this plate up here. So I super glued this plate together, and and I can adjust the flow with the little valve here, which comes off the manifold. I don't really run too much flow through the biopellet reactor. I mean, it's decent, everything's moving, and it seems to work fine. And again, it's very important. This is, if you're going to listen to anything, go slow with biopellets. I know it's very tempting to just throw them all in there and get the nutrients down. But if you have high nutrients and you overdose your diet, or put in the recommended dose per se of biopellets for your tank, you are going to kill shit. It's that simple. So start off with 1/4 the amount that you need. Like I started off with 100 milliliters. Okay, right now I think there's like close to 550 in there now. And over a 2.5 month period, I brought the dose up. So go slow with it, and trust me, you will appreciate the results if you go slow. What I recommend is put in 100 milliliters and wait 2 weeks. Put in another 100, wait another week, another 100, another week, and go that route. And yeah, it should be good to go. So that's my little, pish posh or whatever you want to call it towards dosing. And I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, just give me a buzz. Thanks, guys. Later.